Today we're going to take a look at a very effective play out of the New York Giants playbook. The formation is gun doubles weak, and the play is called Giants fork. What really got me onto this play to begin with was just by looking at the play art. This angle corner route run by our slot receiver is absolutely deadly. We're going to call it an angle corner because, as you can see, it does look like a corner route, but it also kind of looks like a halfback angle route that you would run out of the backfield. Against man coverage, your standard man coverage isn't going to stand a chance stopping this route. Even against zone, as you can see here, we're not going to force it, but against a lot of different types of zone defenses, it's going to get wide open. But the more that I've used it, take a look at the quarter, take a look at the time left, I've come to realize that this just gets really, really deep, a lot more than your regular corner route. At the end of the half or at the end of the game, if I really need to get into field goal range here, I have no timeouts. I need to get out of bounds. I get to the 31-yard line in field goal range. Here I'm on the 35, which is fine, but the Bengals kicker isn't the greatest in the world, and I kind of want to think maybe I can get a touchdown here. No timeouts. We're going to get out of bounds almost 100% of the time. Here I just kind of added this in just because this is an absolute crazy catch over the shoulder with one hand. I had no idea I even came down with that. But here, even though this is a blowout, there's 6 seconds left and I'm trying to get into field goal range here and out of bounds. I didn't actually hang on to that, but as you see, there would have been 1 second left. Here I have no timeouts again. Run that play, run hurry up offense. I have no idea what the spike ball button is. So I run one final play, get in the end zone. Here I'm down by 3 with 28 seconds to go on my own 14-yard line. One completion, then we flip the play. Another completion, we're out of bounds, and we are in field goal range for the tie. Again here, 15 seconds left on my own 27. And just the fact that this route gets really deep, and 6 seconds left, I'm able to call the timeout and either go for the win or kick a game-time field goal. Here again, just gets absolutely wide open with no time left in the second half. I just love how deep the route is. There's a lot of other things that we can do with it, but if our opponent doesn't see this coming, I wouldn't say that this is something that we're going to use all game long. It's not one of those plays. It's one of those plays that you want to throw in from time to time. I love to use it here. You can see on 3rd and 9, you're going to see some 4th downs here. We got 3rd and 10. You're going to see some end of half stuff. You know, I just believe that, especially in a game like this, I mean, it's pretty easy to move the ball as is anyway. So we're just going to try to move the ball regularly, and if we get stuck, then that's the play that we want to go to, because there's so many things you're going to see, not just this route, but other routes that we can definitely throw in there to just make it extremely hard to stop as we get a nice hurdle, save the tackle, and get the touchdown. Again, here, down 3rd and 10 again in the 4th quarter. Just wait and use it at the right time. Don't overuse it. But at the same time, you know, we can kind of ignore this Y route a little bit if we want to. We can come out in this formation a couple times, throw to other receivers, and just kind of bait them. Not even that we have to be quite honest with you. If we run this in key situations, I mean, these routes are so effective, they're not really going to see it coming anyway. But if we wanted to, we could kind of run this play, throw to the other routes, and then when we really need it, we can then start to hit the Y route and the X route, which is my other favorite route. So we're going to get some other gameplay footage for some of these other routes, but I just wanted to show you this route because it is very effective. As much as I love the corner angle route in this play, I really don't think that this play would be what it is without the post route. Post routes in Madden 25 are extremely effective, especially against zone defense. So if we're facing man, we're going to look to the Y route first, and if it's zone, we're going to look to X. But that doesn't mean that we only can throw it against those two. You know, like I showed you, we can throw Y against certain zones, and against man coverage, we can still throw X. Sometimes we're going to get inside position like you saw there, and we're going to be able to make the throw. We're not going to do any type of pass leading or anything like that. The only thing we're going to do is sometimes if we feel like there's a defender in the area to this X route, we're going to click on and we're going to try to cut it off underneath, jump up, and make the play. There's going to be a couple examples here. Here, it looks like Y might be open, but as you see, the user defender took that route. So we need to make proper reads here. You know, I focus a lot on plays where we don't really need to make the best reads in the world. It's just very effective overall. And we can stare down X and Y, but I am going to tell you that you're going to need to make the proper reads in this. Here, I love, like I said before, I love the fact that some of these routes, once they hit the end zone, they do a good job of sitting down, which just, it allows you to kind of sit back and throw a bullet pass and not worry about him running all over the field. So you're going to see with some of these other routes that we are going to have to make reads. We're going to be blitzed. You're going to see sometimes I like to block the tight end and the running back. So I wouldn't say that this is necessarily an easy play unless we're facing a regular two-man under defense. You're definitely going to have to make your reads. So now moving on to the secondary routes, this is when it gets a little bit more tricky. When we're running our offense, we're going to pay attention to what our opponent is doing. That's when we need to decipher what we need to do with this B route especially. We're going to run comebacks, we're going to run curl routes, we're going to run out routes. I love that in route against zone defense. You're going to see that a lot. If I feel like my opponent's playing a lot of zone defense, we're going to run that. Here, they do play man, I kind of scramble out. But the separation that he's going to get, almost like an out route, but just when he cuts back over the middle of the field, is going to be effective. Here we run a curl because they're playing off coverage. We see that the defender doesn't go to that area of the field. Here we just throw a regular comeback route. We click on make the catch. If you haven't seen my video on throwing the comeback route, definitely check that out. I'll put it in the description so you can see exactly how to throw that. We're going to use that against press coverage. Here again, against zone coverage, we just run the in route. If we had to run a curl, then there would have been a defender in the area, same as here. We throw a nice out route on 4th and 10. Out routes are extremely difficult to stop. I don't really show too many examples of that. Here again, zone defense. They're probably trying to confuse us, throwing zone at us, covering the post route, and then, and we're gonna need to be smart. Here again, we get underneath on 3rd and 10 against zone. I love this in route if I really feel like my opponent, especially because it takes a while to develop, and you can see it goes all the way across the field, right? So we take a look at X, we take a look at Y, we're looking around the field, everything's kind of lost, and we just wait, and we see that it's coming all the way across the middle, almost like a drag, but it goes upfield, then over the middle, which just gives us time to kind of process everything and then make that as a final read against zone. Here we just throw a curl, we do a nice spin move. So just get creative. Here again, we're going to do another comeback. We're going to pass lead to the inside, click on, and make the catch. If our opponent is doing a really nice job of mixing up his coverage, putting the tight end on a drag route is a great way to kind of beat man or zone coverage. Really, drag routes are the best route in the game. So we can get a quick look at that and take a look to see if he's open, because, really the Y and X route are going to take a while to develop anyway. So if we see that he's open, we can hit him for a nice gain. And if he's not, then we can just wait and look at the Y and X route. The other thing we can do is put him on a whip route against man defense. I really like that. I'm not necessarily going to do it against too many zones. If we really like our user ability, we can throw a streak. Streaks are tough, especially against zone. You're going to see a lot of defenders in that area. It can be tough. So if you have faith in your user, definitely go ahead with that. I really also like against zone defense this short little in route. As you can see right here, we just do a really nice job of getting a 5-yard completion. And last but not least, we have the running back route. Now here, I'm just going to leave it on the default route, and I face zone coverage. I see that area of the field is open, so I just throw a nice quick pass. Or we can put him on a streak out of the backfield. Now we don't want this route to get too far downfield before we start to pass lead inside, because if we do, the ball is really going to hang in the air. So if we're going to pass lead to the inside on this route, we're going to need to do it within the first about 7 yards. Here we're just running again the default route of the backfield. It's a nice little out route that does a good job against man coverage. Here we do the streak, and as you can see, it slows down against zone coverage, so we're just able to just throw a regular bullet pass and get underneath the coverage. Here again, we pass lead to the inside, and it's effective, but we don't want it to get too far downfield before we start to pass lead. Now, later on, as this play started to be more of a mainstay in my offense, started to realize that you could actually smart route this default halfback route. And it's essentially going to be an out route, like a deep out route run by your running back. As you can see right here, it goes about 10 yards, and then it goes out to the sideline. So this is what I would suggest most often. By smart routing this out route, we're going to get really good, in a good spot against zone coverage. We're going to be able to beat man-to-man coverage with an out route type feel to it. And here we can just hit it underneath against zone coverage. Now, if you're like me and you like to use a custom playbook, this isn't shotgun doubles weak. This is actually in shotgun normal when we're using a custom playbook. And the great thing about that is Buck sweep, the very deadly run play I showed you guys last week, is in this formation. We can actually really scheme really well with a custom playbook. Buck sweep and Giants fork, it's over.